So the first example is about multiple input and multiple output. Okay, so what does it mean by multiple input and multiple output? If you look at the user interface here, you have several input. So first, the input is text box, and the other input is checkbox, and the other input is slider. Okay. So we have three inputs. Okay, then I can say in this case, the first input is text box. The second input is checkbox, and the third input is slider. And then if you look at the output, there are two outputs. The first output is text box or text. Yeah. The other output is also a text box or text. But if you look at this section, okay, if you look at this symbol, if you look at this symbol, it seems it is a number. Okay, so you can increase, you can decrease. Now let's look at the code. On the code, it is a function, and we have three parameters: name, is morning, and temperature. Each of these represent the input. The name, it is for the text box. Is morning, it is the checkbox, and the temperature, it is the slider. And let's say, yeah, the salutation. Good morning. If is morning, what does it mean? When we click this checkbox, then it is true. If it is true, that the word is good evening. If it is false or not true, then the word good evening. Greeting. We will check the salutation. The salutation is from this variable and give the name. The name means the parameter given by the user. So it is the temperature. So the temperature means the variable here. We have the temperature. You can, let's say this is the temperature is in Fahrenheit. Okay. If you know, in the world, for the temperature, there are two kind of measurements. F means the Fahrenheit. Usually in USA, they use the Fahrenheit. And Celsius, the Asian country, like Korea, Japan, we use Celsius. We can change the temperature from the Fahrenheit into Celsius by this formula. The temperature minus 32 multiplied by this ratio, and then we will get the temperature. So let's suppose we will do the greeting. So returns the greeting, and then let's get back the Celsius. The first section, yeah, it is about the function, and the second section, we need to define what is the interface. The interface, yeah, this is the interface. If you can see now, first we are calling the function. Okay, we are calling the function. In the function, there are three inputs. In the functions, there are three inputs. The first input is text. The text, it will cover this text, and the value on those text, it will be the name. The second will be checkbox. So the checkbox will be the second value, and the third one is slider. The slider value will be in the temperature. And then we have two outputs. The first output is the text, which is this one. And the other value will be a number. So this is the text, and this is the number. Once we got the greeting, it will go to the text. Once we got the ground, we will go to the number. Let's see how it works in the radio. At the moment, why? Okay, I think I didn't input that one. Let's see. Yeah, for the first time when you start the Google Colab, it takes some time to run this Gradio. Okay, you can see here. We have name, is morning, and temperature. So let's say the name is Huff, and it's morning, yes. And let's suppose the temperature maybe, I don't know, 60. If I submit, then yeah, we can get the result. Good morning, Huff. It is 60 degrees today. And the result here is in the Celsius. Okay. The first will be the text, and the other will be the number. The first is the text. We got the text from this greeting. And the second one is number. If you still remember, we use round. Okay. Round is print only two numbers. Okay. We just want to get two numbers after the comma when you got the value of Celsius. Here you have the slider in between 0 until 100. You have the minimum is 0. You have the maximum is 100. Is it available to make the slider negative? Let's say I want to make between minus 100, for example, until 100. Is it possible? Okay, let's try. Okay, it is possible. You have from minus 100 until 100. then yeah, you can adjust the number as you want. This is the basic radio. We have multiple input, we have multiple output. Now let's look at more comprehensive GUI. Okay. So this is more complex. Now let's take a look one by one. We have a lot of components. Okay, so you already learned a lot of components. Now let's take a look one by one. The first part, I think it's too small. Let's look at the more detail. If you look at this one, what is the component? This is slider. Okay, we can see this kind of line. Then the first component or the first input will be slider. Now let's look at the second component. What is the second component? What is this? This is drop down. Okay, we click this one and there are options. Now let's see the third component, countries. So where are they from? What is this component? Checkbox. Okay, good. Thank you. We have checkbox. We can use checkbox or checkbox group to represent this one. Let's see the fourth component. What is the fourth component? Checkbox? No. What is it? If it is a checkbox, it will be a rounded box like this one. But this one is circle. Okay, a circle means radio. Okay, we have the radio button, or sometimes people also say radio box. Okay. Now let's see the fifth component. What is the fifth component? Oh, sorry, I missed. I think this is because this is from the Gradio. Okay, this is the example from Gradio. It is still in the testing format. So what is this? We have several selection. If there are several selection, then it is drop down. But we need to make the multiple equals to true. Then you can see several options or several selection. Next, what is this? This is the sixth component. This is another checkbox. Okay. Yeah, if you are already familiar with this item, yeah, it is not difficult for you to create the user interface with Gradio. Now you have the input. Okay, so the input is on the left. Now let's look at the output on the right. The output is only one. Okay, it is not complicated. And then this is a text box. So we have 6 input and 1 output. Okay. So this is the example from Gradio. Let's take a look. Yeah, you can see this is the example of comprehensive GUI. Every time you create a GUI, you need to have a function. The function sentence builder, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So those 6 represent 6 input. Okay, we have 6 input, what we already saw from the user interface. Then we will define 6 parameters. And for every parameter, let's look at this one. The first parameter is the quantity. Yeah. So actually, this user interface is only for trial, only just for an example. So some of them are not that meaningful. This is from the Gradio to show many kind of component at once. The first is quantity, and we will print here. The second is animal, and we will print here. Next is countries. We will print here. So yesterday we learned about the join. Place. We will print here. Activity list. We will print here. And morning. We will print here. Okay. Every section will be separated with the curly braces. So if it is in curly braces, then it is the parameter that you want to print. Now, because it is only to build the sentence, we finish until this part. And you can see the written is only 1. It means we have 1 output. Now let's design the interface. So let's design the interface. The first part is to call the function. This is call the function. The function here, the function name is sentence builder. The function name is sentence builder. And in the sentence builder, we have 6 components. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because we have 6 components, then we need to also have 6 part in the interface. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. The first is slider. Now let's take a look on this item. Slider, we have some parameters. So if you are not sure, you can go to this. Okay, there is a kind of explanation. The first parameter is minimum. Then 2 is the minimum value. The second parameter is maximum. Then this is the maximum value of the slider. The third parameter is value. It means this is the initial value. When you create your user interface, whenever you refresh, the first value is 4. Okay. And then next, we have label. Label means what we want to print on the user interface. And the last is info. Info, when you move your mouse, you will get the information about this slider. So if I run this, you can see here, choose between 2 until 20. And the initial value is 4. And this is a slider between 2 until 20. Okay. Now let's see the second one. We have drop down. Again, you can move your mouse. What happened? Maybe this one moved. Okay. So in the drop down, the first option is choices. So what is choices? You can see here sequence. It means we need to declare what are the options in the drop down. And the declaration will be a type of string or a type of integer or a type of float or a tuple. So this is a tuple of string and string or integer or float. Okay. Yeah, let's just use string at this moment. If you want to use this one, yeah, you can try with your idea. Then we have cat and dog and bird. Next we have label. Okay. Label means we want to show the label so people knows what is the drop down about. This is about animal. And info. Info, it is about what the explanation about this drop down. So we'll add more animals later, for example. And you can see this is the animal. And then when you click here, you can see whether it's cat or dog or bird, because the options that you already created, there are 3: cat, and bird. For the checkbox group, we have three options: USA, Japan, and Pakistan. Again, you can set up the label and info. So every component, okay, you can set up, this is the label, and then this is the info, and this is the option. So this is the checkbox group. In the checkbox group, we have three: USA, Japan, Pakistan, and label and info. Radio, we have also three options: Park, Zoo, Road, and we have label and we have info. This is another drop down. As I mentioned to you, the drop down, there are two kind of drop down. The first drop down, you can choose only one. Okay, in this case, you can choose only one. But this drop down, we have multi-select. Okay, we have multi-select equals to true, then we can select more than one. If it is more than one, then among four options, we can select two or three or four. Now you can see the value. The initial value, there are two, which is swam and slept. And you can see the initial value, we have swam and slept. Yeah, if you remove this one, then it will be deleted. If you want to click, 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 then you can see more than one option. And the last one is checkbox. So the checkbox, it is the option to be checked, and then the result will be true or false. We have label and we have info. As we know, okay, the first is the function. The second is the input. And the third is the output. So the output will be a text, okay, text, and this is the text that you will show. Now, there is another part that we can look at. We have examples. In these examples, you have an array. Please to remember array. Okay. This is a multi-dimensional array. Why it is two-dimensional array? Why it is multi-dimensional array? If you look at this one, we have a square bracket and closing square bracket. And then this is one. This is second. This is the third. This is the fourth. Okay. Now you can see that this is index 0, this is index 1, this is index 2, this is index 3. And this is the array, or this is a list. In the index 0, this is index 0. In the index 0, we have this is index 0, this is index 1, this is index 2, index 3, index 4, index 5. Okay. Then it means this is the input. This is the input from the users or maybe the previous users. They put it, and after you click the save, we put into one array. So this is the array. So the first option, the user choose 2, and then the user choose cat, and the user choose Japan and Pakistan, and then the user choose park, and then the user choose ate and swam, and then the user choose shoe. So this is the input number 1, this is the input number 2, this is the input number 3, this is the input number 4, this is the input number 5, and this is the input number 6. Then we can see there are 4 inputs. Okay. Yeah. If you want to do this one, yeah, you need to do something to make it as a list, and you can put into, for example, these examples. In this example from Gradio, it's only show a table like this one. So let's see. Yeah, if I choose bird, and then if I choose Japan, if I use park, okay, let me choose swam, add and slept, and then I choose morning, and then if I submit, so I can get this. Okay. There are 4 birds from Japan went to the park where they swam and ate and slept until the morning. Okay. Yeah, because we still have no, yeah, this is only just for saving, but it is not affecting the result. If you want to make another example, it means you need to make another list. So you need to input into a list and then show into this table. So this is the examples. The examples is from the part that you wrote here. So after we have the function, after we have the input, after we have the output, then we can do something. For example, we can print this one into a table. So actually, if you look at this, okay, nothing. Yeah, there is no, what happened? Okay, there is no further about examples. In other examples, I will let you know how to create more data and how to save the data. So in this case, this is the examples from the Gradio. So whenever you create examples, I cannot move to the parameter. You can see the parameter. We have lists. Okay. So you can see here the parameters. We can have lists. So this list will be printed in the Gradio. So this is the embedded function in the Gradio. Okay, so this is the comprehensive component of the user interface in Gradio. Now let's take a look some examples that you already did before. For example, if you still remember the cafe latte kiosk, do you remember about this user interface? Okay. I think in the week 4 on the week 5, when you learn about the condition. Okay. So we have 2 options. Cafe latte, whether you want to buy hot or ice. And then you have another option, whether you want to add a syrup, and because it is a cafe latte, you can choose the latte, whether it is a regular milk or low-fat milk. Georgian uyu or Ilban uyu. Then with this one, so let me just review. We have a function. We have a function coffee kiosk, and then we have the base price. For example, let's set up the price is 5,000, and then let's set up the total price equals to the base price. If we choose a milk with the low-fat milk, then let's add the price with 500 won. The syrup is free, so no price change needed. If you see this one, we have one white temperature, 2, 3. Okay, so we have the because we have the hot and ice option, so I put the temperature, and then we have syrup. It means whether you want to add the syrup or not, it is free. And milk, if the milk is the low-fat milk, then you will have more price, so it is added with 500. You can get the text. Your order is cafe latte, and what is the temperature? It means it is hot or ice. You can put the text if it is with syrup. If the syrup is true, then you will print with syrup. If it is not true or false, then you will print no syrup. And then you print the milk. So the milk has two options. The total price, you will print the total price, which is the variable total price that you get from this function. Now let's make the interface. If you look at the previous example, we always use demo. But actually, you can design by yourself. You can make another variable. For example, I'm using iFace. So iFace is an object. It is an object from the Gradio interface. So we are creating the interface. Now, let's take a look at the function. So the function here, I'm going to call coffee kiosk. Okay, the coffee kiosk. This is the function. And then I need to declare the input. Based on this parameter, there will be 3 inputs. Okay, there will be 3 inputs. If you look at the sorry, if you look at this user interface, the first input is radio, because we need to choose whether it is hot or ice. The second input, it is checkbox. We can choose whether we want to add the syrup or not. And the third input is another radio. Then we have 1, 2, 3. So we have 1, 2, and 3. For the first radio, we can have options whether it is hot or ice, and then let's create the label cafe latte, hot or ice. For the checkbox, we can add the label, add the syrup for free. And the third input is radio. We have two options, regular milk or low fat milk. If you choose the radio first, then the value will be regular milk. If you choose the second one, then the value will be low fat milk. That's why if you choose the second one, which is low fat milk, then the price will be at it 101. The output is 1, which is a text, and it is the order summary. And we have 10 lines. Now let's run. After you have all those things, we need to launch. Okay, we need to launch. We can choose hot. It is free. And let's say I'm going to choose the low fat milk. Submit. You order cafe latte hot with syrup, low fat milk, and the total price is 505,000. Now let's choose the regular milk. Then your order is cafe latte hot with syrup, regular milk, and the total price is 5,001. Okay. Okay, let me stop here. Let's have a break. I will continue after the break.